Today I am coloring the Deadstock General Store page from my Cozy Shops in Watercolor coloring book. If you are new here, this book has 28 shopfronts from around the world printed on 200 GSM paper, and you can color them with watercolors, pencils, markers, whatever you like. The link to where to order the book is in the description below. Also, I am using a synthetic round brush, size 11 for larger areas, a small flat brush, size 2 for small details, and white jelly roll pen for the highlights. I also show the colors I use today, and everything I use is listed in the description box. So this store has actually changed its look in real life. The building is now in a yellow and black theme, but originally it was pink and blue. So for this page I'm going with the older color palette, but you can do the new one. For the pink, I am using Rose Pale Lake from Vlogs, but honestly any pink or soft rose color will work beautifully. I'm starting with the bricks. The bottom right corner of the building will be blue and the rest will be pink because the brick lines are already drawn in the illustration. This makes the coloring a lot easier. You can work slowly and stop right at the line, and when you continue coloring from that brick line, the watercolor edge won't show, so it gives you a nice clean finish. Next, I am using dunes for all the light details. If you prefer, you can use any light color here or even leave these areas uncolored. But I like using this soft sandy tone because it keeps the white parts from popping out too much. It blends nicely with the rest of the page and gives everything a warmer, more cohesive look. Also, where the lamp is above the door, I will add a little bit of yellow while the dunes layer is still wet, so the yellow spreads out naturally and creates that soft glow. If the yellow doesn't move how you want it to, you can always help it along with the clean wet brush and guide the color gently. For the inside of the shop, I am using three colors: dunes, yellow and burnt sienna. First I cover everything with dunes, well, not everything, the back wall. And while it's still wet, I drop in a little yellow to give it that warm glow, and then I will color the floor with burnt sienna. It creates a nice base tone for all the details we will add later. Don't worry about coloring over everything inside the shop right now. It will dry later and all the objects inside will get darker colors later, so they will stand out nicely. For the smaller shop windows, I'm doing the same process. I start with dunes, add a bit of yellow while it's still wet, and then burnt sienna around the edges to deepen the look. This keeps all the windows warm and cohesive throughout the whole page. But I do this for the shop windows. The upper windows will have a different color. Next, I am using burnt sienna for some of the details around the shopfront. Things like the little sign, well, the frame of the sign, the chalkboard on the ground, and the shelf where the plates are. It's a nice warm brown color, brown reddish color that keeps everything consistent with the inside glow. After that, I am switching to burnt umber, which is this really lovely dark brown. I am using it to deepen the area behind the plates on that same shelf, so it looks more three-dimensional. Just a little bit of darker color in the background makes the plates pop forward. With burnt umber, I'm also coloring the wooden parts of the shop, the window frame and the door. You will see those vertical pieces next to the window. Those are shutters. You can color over them with the brown, but it's better to keep them uncolored for now. Next, for the dark details, I am mixing black with a bit of sepia. I always like my black to be slightly warmer, so this mix works perfectly for me. But if you like your black super black, just use black. With this color mix, I am coloring all kinds of details around the building just to bring everything together and give it more contrast. I am using the same color mix for the pavement as well, but I will keep it lighter. To get that lighter shade, I will just add more water to the color mix. It tints the paint nicely and gives you a gentle gray. Next, I'm using yellow for the curtains, the Deadstock letters, and few other little details around the shopfront. For now, I'm keeping all the inside objects uncolored. I will leave those for the very end. I also like repeating the same colors throughout the drawing. It makes everything feel more cohesive and it helps guide the viewer's eye around the page. So the whole shopfront looks balanced and connected. That's why I sprinkle yellow everywhere. For the greenery, I'm using olive green as the base, and while it's still wet, I'm dropping in a bit of sap green. This gives the plant more dimension and keeps it from looking like one flat color. Also, think about where your light source is. Mine will be shining from the left side, so the right side of the greenery will be a bit darker. That's where the form shadow falls. Just darkening that one side makes the plant look more rounded and natural. Now it's finally time for the blue. I am adding a very light layer of blue in the upper windows, so that means more water in the mix and just a little bit of paint. It keeps those windows soft and subtle. For the rest of the facade, I'm using the exact same blue, but with more paint and less water. That gives the walls a stronger, richer color while still matching the lighter windows. Using the same color in different strengths helps everything stay cohesive and balanced. Also, I decided to add blue in this shelf where the plates are to make it look like a glass, but I didn't like the end look, so you don't need to do that if you don't like how it looks. So now the fun part starts. We are going to add the second layer. This is what makes everything stand out more and gives the whole shopfront a nice dimensional look. I am starting with the black mix on the water pipe. I paint the sides and let that middle line peek through from the first layer. That little highlight instantly gives a water pipe 3D effect. Then I will add few more lines and dots on the roof area just to give it a bit of more texture. I will also add another layer on the chalkboards because I want them to look darker. But you need to take a look at your own page. If your first layer is already dark enough, you might not need a second one. And for the pavement, I will only darken one section of it to break it up a bit. And on the other side, I will add some tiny lines and dots to make the ground look more interesting. to the curtains to make the folds stand out more. I mixed a little bit of burnt sienna into the yellow so the color gets slightly darker, just enough to show the shadows in the fabric. I'm also adding some sap green dots in the greenery to create those darker leaves. Again, keep in mind where your light source is. Mine is coming from the left, so I'm focusing the darker dots and more on the right side, the shadow side. Then I go back to the facade and some of the signs and add a second layer of burnt sienna or burnt umber to deepen the colors and make everything pop a bit more. But remember, you need to take a look at your own page and decide how dark you want the things to be. Add just enough to make it feel dimensional without losing the watercolor softness. I want the window frames to look a bit more dimensional, so on some parts I'm adding a second layer of dunes, and on other parts I'm leaving the first layer as it is. That little variation already gives the frames more depth. I'm also adding some texture on the planter pots, the sign above the door, and the door. You can add tiny lines, dots, or even color in slightly bigger sections and then just blend or soften them with a clean wet brush. It gives a really nice natural texture. And then I also add a few yellow dots on the door and the sign just for fun and to spread that color around the page a bit more. I will also add more yellow coming from the lamp. So I add yellow and then with clean wet brush I smudge out the color so it's not that harsh. Now I'm adding some texture to the bricks. I'm using the same pink color as before and I'm coloring in a few of the bricks in a random pattern. Nothing too perfect. Then on some of the other bricks I'm just adding tiny dots. This gives the wall a really natural brick look because in real life bricks are never all the same tone. One is lighter, one is darker, and that little bit of variety makes the whole wall feel more alive. And the same thing I will do with the blue color. I will add some random pattern on the bricks where the blue bricks are and some tiny dots and lines where the blue sign is. it's time for the little details inside the shop. I'm using the same colors I already used in the building, and doing this really helps the whole drawing come together. Keeping a limited palette makes everything pleasing to the eye and it feels more connected. But if you want to go wild and make it more fun, you can use whatever colors you like for the inside details. Honestly, this part is completely up to your style. Once the first layer is dry, I will add a second layer as the form shadow, just like I did on the building. So I'm darkening the right side of a few objects because that's the side opposite to my light source. It's a tiny step, but it makes those small objects pop and give the whole interior a nice dimension. it's time for the cast shadows. Anywhere I used blue color, I am shading with Payne's Gray, and for the rest of the building, I'm using sepia. My light source is on the left side, so all the objects will cast their shadows to their right and a little bit downward. I'm just carefully adding those shadows from everything that would realistically have one. The planters, the frames, signs, shelves, and you see that tall sign on the pole? Each shadow will first fall on the ground in an angle and then go straight up the wall. These little details make such a huge difference in the drawing. Also, if you ever struggle with where shadows should fall or how they behave, I actually have a really simple shadow guide that explains all of this in a super easy way. I will put a link in the description. But for now, just watch where I add the shadows. Also, if your light source is on the right side, then the shadows will be on the left and down side. So the opposite way. After I finished drawing the shadows, I decided to add a few green dots on the pavement. You know how sometimes there's little bits of grass growing between the concrete tiles. It gives the whole scene a bit more life, so I really like adding that tiny touch. And the very last step is highlights. I use my white jelly roll pen to add light on the objects where the sun would hit, and also on anything I want to make pop a little more. On the sides you can add some writing or tiny marks, and in the windows I like adding those diagonal highlight lines. It gives that nice glass shine. And that's it. The page is finished. If you color this one, I would absolutely love to see your version. So if you post it anywhere, feel free to tag me at Inky Paper House. It always makes my day to see your shopfront drawings. And see you next week. Bye!